Alright, so I am driving from Haynes Junction to a place called Burwash Landing, and I'm just going to show you quickly how I climb hills. In front of me I have this big hill, and what I do is you can see the load here. I try to keep that load as low as possible up hills, because what I find is I lose most of my range up hills. And I'm making great mileage because I'm trying my best to keep the car under 30 miles an hour. And I have about 160 miles to drive. In Burwash I'm going to stop and I'm going to see if I can find a place to charge. There's a car coming up behind me, so I'll pull over, but I'll see if I can't show you a bit of regen here. See that blue bar? That means I'm regenerating energy back into my bank. Anyway, thought I'd show you that. I think that would be interesting. I am in Burwash Landing. It's up in the Yukon, just at the end of Kluane Lake. I just had a pretty beautiful drive, and you probably see because I took videos of the whole thing. But I'm making great mileage. I'm just going to turn this camera around and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Just went over the halfway mark of my tank, and I made 76.5 miles. Just under halfway there. I am about to stop here. There's a little cafe. I am going to transfer my energy from my other battery pack into my drivetrain pack, because my other battery pack is, I'm going to show you that as well. My other battery pack is super full. It's at 52 volts, and the battery status indicator is obviously green. And all of my series are nice and balanced. Look at that, 4, 4, 3, 9, 5, 3, 9, 8. Great, pulling in about 600 watts from the sun here. I am here and I'm going to get a little bit of a charge on, see if I can't top that pack right back up again, because I have about another 100 miles to go from here to get to my next destination. So with the rate that I'm going now, I know that I can get about 120 miles. So a full charge can get me about 120 miles if I'm really nursing it and making sure that amp meter stays low, and when I can regen, I'm regenning as much as I can. I pull over for traffic. I make sure it's nice and safe and pull over and let trucks pass, so super slow. It just took me about 2 or 3 hours to drive 70 miles. Usually it would have been something like 3 hours, so I'm taking about double the time to get there. Fine by me, I'm in no rush. Just slowly making my way up to Fairbanks, and this is how I do it. So one of the big problems I have on this trip is converting imperial to metric. An example of that right now is my fridge. I installed the fridge about 3 or 4 days ago. I had no idea, what temperature to set. Well, I had some idea. I brewed up some cold brew coffee and I put it in there, and then obviously I went and stayed at Rosemary's house with the kids and that. And I left the fridge for a day or two, and I opened it up just now to check out what was going on in there, and everything was absolutely frozen. This is what happened to all of my stuff. It's not much stuff either, so it's not a big deal. I had 5 things of Powerade. They're all frozen solid. I had some salsa, it's frozen solid. And my poor cold brew coffee kit is just smashed. I've set the fridge to about 30 degrees. Let me have a look here. Well, that says 16, but yeah, I set it to 30. Anyway, look at this beautiful weather. Right near Kluane Lake, mountains over there. I have a Kluane Energy, which is a gas station, but cafe and grocery thing over there, so I'm probably going to go in and get a coffee now that I can't drink my cold brew. And look at these beautiful glacial mountains off in the background up there. Alright, just a quick update here. I only managed to pull 30 kilowatt hours out of my 40 kilowatt battery pack. I guess it's not really 40 kilowatt hours. I am on the verge of okay for doing 100 miles if I nurse the hell out of this vehicle. This is going to be a good test. I'm going to try and push for it. From the mileage I got earlier today, I should be able to make it. I don't know whether I should stay here and get a charge somewhere, or just potentially move on and see if I can make it the whole way. I mean, worst comes to worse, I think I'm going to be about 20 miles short, and I know that I can get that charged tomorrow. These are the sort of decisions I'm being faced with right now. Anyway, I have a bit over 3/4 of a charge. This morning I got 60 miles out of half a charge. Well, over 60 miles, probably 65 miles. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. See if we can produce some magic. Alright, so I'm driving. I am at halfway of my charge. Sorry about the noise. It's pretty crazy loud in this cab. I've cranked the music so that I don't have to listen to all this bumping. The roads up here are a little bit rough, but that's fine. I got about, I'd say 50 miles out of that little charge up to halfway. So you can see I'm at halfway now and I have 137.1 miles on my charge. I have about half tank left and I have about 45 miles to go. Looks like I'm gonna make it, and that's such good news. I actually might make it with some in the tank. So every time I drive this thing, I become more and more acquainted with the vehicle, and I learn about its range and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see. It looks like potentially, from what I've got right here, if I drive at about 30 miles an hour and I keep that the amp arc under the zero charge mark, I could probably get around 200 miles with both battery banks completely drained into my drivetrain battery. So 200 miles is quite a distance. That's a pretty cool thing to know. I do have to drive really slowly. It's I think like 11:30 at night right now, and there's been a few people that have passed me, so I just let them, I pull over to the side of the road and I let them pass. I don't want to make anyone angry, and I'm in no rush to get anywhere. I made it to the campground. Woohoo! Final mileage was 182.2 miles, and I'd say I had about another at least 10 miles to go, if not 20. So I reckon I could get 200 mile range on both my tanks if I'm driving at about 30 miles an hour. That's good news. Bad news is the inverter seems to be playing up. It won't charge my secondary battery pack. The inverter's on and it's reading an AC input, 220 volts at 60 hertz. Everything seems to be on, and when I plugged it in, it wanted to invert the power. See how it's saying AC in, AC out at 262, but it's doing nothing. There is no inversion going on there. So what I did was I took my electric vehicle charger, plugged it straight into the circuit there, plugged it straight into the van, so I'm not using the inverter right now to do the charging. I've plugged the cord into another spot over here, and I'm gonna do some light reading. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm gonna do some light reading before I go to bed. I can sleep in tomorrow, so it's not a problem, and I probably won't, but I can. So I'm just gonna see if I can get this charging, because it would be good to have both batteries charged by the time that I wake up. Let's see what we can do. Problem solving. I'm out here alone. I'm not an electrical engineer. There's nothing special about me, but I'm just trying to work it out as I go, and that's all I can do, and I hope we can all learn to do stuff like that. So anyway, hopefully, fingers crossed, I get this sorted out and we can have 2 fully charged batteries before we leave for Toke tomorrow in the morning.